Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Wednesday, September the 8th, 2022. Wednesday, September 8th, 2022. Let's see, what is happening on the Young and the Restless? Well, we have Jack and Billy. Jack actually tried to give a heartfelt talk, had a heartfelt talk with Billy, and Billy was defensive because every time Billy sees Jack, he wants to talk about Adam. He wants to bash Jack's decision, and Jack's not going to let that happen at all, period. And Jack gave him Billy some harsh reality, saying, look, you too, are in a similar, not the same as Adam, but something is going on with you. You seem adrift. You know, you seem very happy doing your podcast. That seems to be you. And he kind of was alluding, I hope you're not, spending too much time doing that versus your corporate duties. And so Billy lets him know, well, I gave up the podcast, Jack. I am going to be the best COO that, Lily can have because Lily needs me to concentrate on that job. I'm doing it for her. I did it for my mother. He's naming all the people he did it for and not himself. And Jack looked at him and he goes, you really gave that up when you seemed your happiest doing it. And Jack was kind of like, okay, now here's history. History is you start to self-sabotage. That's history. You're going to either walk away or you're going to tear something down. And in that way, that's what Jack meant, that he and Adam were a lot alike in that manner. And I feel the same way because Billy is not happy because one thing Jack told him, and this kind of, it upset Billy, but it hit home in his face. He couldn't say anything about it when Jack said, talked about his pattern. And he goes, I have it, with Jabot. He goes, Jabot is my decision. You have walked away from the company more times than you've been in charge of the company. And look, and so Billy says, yeah, but yes, I've walked away and I have no intentions of coming back, even though you, Jack, said the door is wide open for me. And he goes, it is wide open for you because you're an Abbott. You're an Abbott. And Billy's like, yeah, but I won't be coming back. See, and it's like, okay, then why do you care who Jack hires? Why do you care, Billy? And so Jack says, look, I'm trying to help Adam right now. I trust he can do a good job. He says, I would try to help you. He said, the problem is, it's like you're jealous of Adam or you feel this is a competition. And Billy's like, what? He goes, yeah, I mean, you are my brother. Because he goes, no, you said you wouldn't hire me right now because of my history and my track record of walking away from corporate America or, of a corporate job. And he says, that's true. Not right now. I mean, you don't really, really want to. He says, but yet you won't hire me because of my past, but you're going to hire Adam because of his past. And he goes, it's not a competition. You are my brother, period. Adam is my friend. We've been friends for a long time, but you are my brother, Billy. And no one is more important to me than my family. But I'm just trying to talk to you to find out What is going on with you? I've heard your podcast. I heard what you said when he repeated some of the things Billy said about the way he's feeling. And he looked at Jack. He goes, I was having a bad day, Jack, and I expressed it. And he goes, yes, Billy, but those feelings run deep. And it's like, where are they really stemming from? They're a symptom. And so Billy goes and gets himself another cup of coffee, and he comes back. And this is before Jack really hits him with some bold, hard fact truth, before we got this look on Billy's face. And he goes, you want to know what my perfect job is? And Jack says, what is it? He goes, professional gambler. Professional gambler. That is my perfect job. Having $1 million hand on the table, high risk, you win big, you lose big. But that's my all-time perfect profession. And Jack was kind of like, of course it would be. Yeah, you would pick that, right? So Billy, like I said, Billy is afloat. Even Victoria notices there's something up with Billy, and she said, something is not quite right with you. Do you want to talk about it? Everybody truly sees it except for Lily. Lily sees it, but she doesn't, because Lily is trying to run this huge, huge corporation, and she's trying to deal with Nate and Devon. And so she's taking Billy at face value for what he's saying to her, not truly what he's looking like, and not really reading his body language, any of that. She's just not. One thing I could say, Kane made a lot of messes. Kane did, but really not in business. Kane was a really good businessman, and Billy is the opposite. Billy never has had a calling. You can't even, except for like the gambling, like he said, and then that's a spiral. He's a gambling addict. There was nothing that Billy has really done that he stuck with and that he was good at. Nothing. And that's a shame. I'm really trying to think. Nothing. Wow. So we're going to see some kind of transformations with Billy Abbott. Let's see. We had, there was an interesting conversation that I don't know where she's going with this. The Sally Spectra talking to Chance. See, in her own little coy way, Sally was trying to stir the pot, and I don't understand what's her end game with that. That conversation she had with Chance was really out of line. Kind of, I just want you to know that I know. And from one person to another, one person, who kept things under wraps, because I could have published this and I didn't. And another person who could have really pushed a little harder for it, and really done something different, like meaning you, and you didn't. We both are alike. We're both kind of the same. And Chance is kind of coldly, coyly looking at her like, what are you doing and where are you going with this? And he subtly put Sally in her place as he's looking at her. And then she realized, she just says, well, okay, then thanks for the talk. Because he told her, listen, I'm on my way out. And she sat down, she goes, this won't take long. He goes, yeah, but I have some place I have to meet. Like I said, it'll be just a minute. And I'm thinking, who are you, Sally? Wait a minute, what's going on here? Yeah. Let's see what Sally's up to. Sally's up to something, okay? She is. Sally, Sally is so busy spiraling from Adam, she doesn't know what she's doing, period. So then we have pretty much the rest of the entire episode had to deal with Chelsea. We pick up with Chelsea in the park with Adam and say, I'm gonna go to Minnesota or Minneapolis, wherever her mother's at, and to visit my mother, and I'm gonna take Connor with me. And Adam looks at her. He goes, "Wait, so close to the beginning of the school year? Connor just got back, and now we've got to get him ready to start school. Going away again, Chelsea, that's not a good idea. And soccer is going to be starting." And she goes, "Yeah, but no, no. I am gonna go. He loves it when he goes to see Anita, and I need this. I am spiraling. I am adrift. I know the signs. You know the signs, and I need to get away. And the last time I took Connor with me, that made everything better. Connor grounds me. It made everything better, and I need this." And he goes, "Well, first of all, are we talking a weekend? What kind of trip are you talking?" "Well, I don't know. I don't have a time frame. I don't have a time frame in mind right now. No, it could be a little extended." And he goes, "But wait, what about school? Wait a minute. You want to uproot his life because you're adrift. You don't know the direction you're going in. You feel things are getting out of control." He says, "Connor, it's not Connor's responsibility, Chelsea, to ground you. It is not. And we are not going to put that on him." "No, no, Adam, I'm not saying." "Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. He's happy. If you need to go," he's like, "if you need to go, go. But no, no, you are not." Because she says, we could put him back in his old boarding school is out there. We could put he goes, "Huh? No. He's happy at the school he's at. He has friends. He's engaged. No." So then she goes, you just don't, you just don't understand it. You don't want things to go. And he's just like, "Chelsea, I have been the most supportive of you. I really have. And yes, you're having difficulties. I mentioned it. I mentioned you need to get some therapy. Don't talk to me about therapy. Oh, she just no, no, no. Connor's all I need." And so he's like, "But no, I'm not going to allow you to do this to our son. I'm not." Mm-mm. So then you know, one thing, Chloe is right about you. And one thing is for sure, aside from Connor, I wish I never would have met you. And so she goes storming off, right? And of course, Sally is in the lurks catching the end of the conversation. And she has to come up to Adam and say, "What was that about?" It's like, wait a minute. What do you even have to do with that? You're not even with Adam. And so Adam tells her why. I don't know. He's like, "I'm worried about Chelsea. She is spiraling, she's floundering, and she wants to go out of town to visit her mother, and she wants to take Connor with her." And so Sally's like, "Well, I kind of understand where she's going for. I actually kind of feel sorry going the direction she's going in. I see how she feels. I actually feel sorry for her." And he's like, "Wait, what? So you're trying to say I should let my son go?" She goes, "No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I feel sorry for Chelsea." And it's like, shut up, Sally. You don't feel sorry for no Chelsea in the least. You're only trying to talk to Adam to get more ammo for the next time you run into Chelsea. You could tell her something that she knows only Adam could have told you, as you pretend to be closer to Adam than you are. That's the only reason you're trying to pump information out of Adam. So Sally goes back to the office. Chloe comes to the office. She brings lunch, and Sally brings up Chloe. And she goes, "When was the last time?" No, Chelsea. she asked Chloe, when was the last time you talked to Chelsea? And Chloe's like, well, it's been a minute. Why? Oh, I just witnessed pretty much an incident or event, a conversation or between her and Adam in the park. And ooh, Chelsea is not doing well, you know. And so Chloe's like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the effect Adam has on everybody, which no, what's happening to Chelsea, this is nothing to do with Adam. This is everything to do with Chelsea and her mental state of mind. She was never well to begin with when she came back to Genoa City. She was not. And she's just getting worse. I mean, quite frankly, I can't see them writing her character off again because her storyline is just not needed. It's not needed. There's nothing for it. She latches on to Ray, Sharon's husband, knowing how close Ray and Sharon are, and she develops her own fantasies anyway. She latched onto Billy in her head, knowing Billy is with Lily. And knowing Billy has never, I mean, yes, okay, we're saying, yeah, in the past for one split minor weakness when Victoria was pregnant. And I think that's probably maybe when Victoria got when Victoria got pregnant with the babe with Katie, she was with Stitch. Victoria was with Stitch. And Abby had taken Stitch from Victoria, right? Victoria was with Stitch, and so she slept with Stitch. She slept with Billy. For a minute, we didn't know who the father of Katie was. We did not know. It could have been Stitch, or it could have been Billy, and it ended up being Billy. So perhaps during that split minute, maybe he and Chelsea got together for a hot second. I don't remember that, but that could be the only time I could think of. But either way, then Billy let her know, whoa, I don't know where this is coming from, but no, So then she spiraled from that. And then just one conversation from Chance, and she fixated on him completely. She goes to society, and Abby just asked her, how you doing, Chelsea? And Chelsea goes ballistic. Ranting, raving. I'm so sick of everybody asking me that, really trying to psychoanalyze me. And she just going on. And Adam did this, and this, and blah, blah, blah. And, everybody gets taken away from me. Ray dies. I mean, she blurts everything on the table. And Abby, the camera's looking at Abby like, woo, this is more than I bargained for. Whoa. And so she goes, and Adam won't even let me take my son out of town to see my mother. Do you think that's fair? And Abby's like, well, you know what? I'm not going to comment on that because I have a lot of my own family issues, and I'm just not the person, to comment on anybody else's family issues. And Abby handled that brilliantly. Okay. So Chelsea is slurping down these martinis. Although I could have swore, no, maybe that was Chloe. When Chloe was in earlier, she asked for a seltzer with lime. Chelsea's drinking martinis just like their Kool-Aid, right? And she says, oh, by the way, give me another one of these. And Abby's looking at her like, woo, okay. So she gives her another one, and Chance is on his way. So Chance arrives. Abby gives him a kiss, and says, look, she's ready to go too, but can you please look at Chelsea. She's here. Because he goes, Chelsea's here. And he looks at Chelsea and looks at Abby. He goes, like, so, she's had too much to drink. She hasn't eaten anything. She is in no condition to drive. And he goes, well, call her a cab. She says, I think she might get offended. I'm thinking, so what? Bottom line, that's what happens when your customers come and drink too much. You call them a cab, right? So she goes, would you mind? Please. I think if it comes from Detective Detective Chancellor, that she would accept a ride home from you. And I'm thinking, okay. So Chance is like, all right. So he goes over to Chelsea and he goes, Chelsea, and she, hey, oh my goodness, is she gonna try to wrap her arms around Chance right there in front of Abby? So Abby is initially smiling and she's like, you guru, yes, your husband said so wonderful. He did this and this and she just all over Chance. And I said, see, instability is striking and it is now in Chance's direction. And Abby better not ever offer her husband to do anything for Chelsea again, right? So Chance takes her home. Chelsea doesn't try anything. I was shocked. I was shocked she didn't ask him to come in and talk. Can I ask you something? I was expecting that. Chance stayed right there at the door threshold. He did not go in. Good, Chance. Good for you. Okay. And he left it cordial and he left, right? Or the scene was, they were ending the conversation. But Chelsea is definitely now setting her sights on Chance. I believe once he rejects her, she is going to leave town. Once the next time they run into each other, she doesn't get some type of invitation from Chance, then she is going to leave town because there's nothing. Chelsea doesn't have a job. She's staying at the Grand Phoenix. She has nothing. So, therefore, what do you get? You get loneliness. You get, who can I talk to? Because every time I do see my best friend, I'm fighting. She needs to go back to where her mother was. She was happier there. And guess what? Connor wasn't there. Connor was with Adam. When Chelsea came back to town, Connor didn't come with her. Connor was always in town. That's why Adam was staying with Nikki and Victor, actually at the main house with Connor. So yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Let's go to Comment Corner. We have 2 comments in Comment Corner. The comment is for Monique. And she says, Billy and Adam are alike and different in so many ways. The alikeness is they feel out of place in their families and they're considered to be black sheep in their families, both of them, and in business. And their families don't feel that they pretty much belong in the family business. The Abbotts have always invited Billy, Ashley, Tracy. Billy's never wanted to be a part, really. He's never wanted to be a part of the family business. There are some definite John Abbott resentment feelings where Billy is concerned. There has always been that. And John loved Billy, but Billy was just rebellious and cut from a different cloth. And the thing about the Abbotts, they don't feel that everybody has to work for the family. It is nice if they do, but Tracy definitely went on her own path. She forged her own career, her own passions, her own life as a writer. Has nothing to do with Jabot. The only thing she's a board member. That's all. And she's happy that way. So Billy is a board member. He's just not happy. He's never forged anything that is his. Even Ashley, when she and Jack were on the outs, Ashley formed her own company internationally, her own cosmetics company. She's the chemist. She's the fragrance creator. So Ashley did her own thing and then finally decided to bring that back under the Jabot umbrella. And then one thing that Monique says is Adam's family has not accepted him. Victor has. Victor has, but none of Nikki's kids or Nikki really ever accepted Adam. But Adam has done some horrible things to them. Billy has never done horrible things to his siblings. The only thing he's done is almost lost the family company a couple times and done some definite financial damage to Jabot, but he's not set out to hurt and plot revenge on his own family. Billy has not. Sometimes it takes Jill coming back into town to just slap him around a bit. Ooh, Jill, she'll tell you, Billy, you were rotten. Okay. Libby. Libby says, your funny line. She doesn't know what his face is looking like on the other side of her head. She was laughing about that because she doesn't. Jack knows it, he sees it, And then she said that, that the writers don't have a clue about medical stuff. Well, it's funny. In soap operas, they really don't care to. Because where can a gunshot victim be up the very next week walking around? I mean, soap operas, they accelerate pretty much all conditions. And then says how Faith got her kidney overnight, right? And Faith will be on anti-rejection meds, right? And then she says, and then we got the Chance and Abby needing Devon's sperm. She says when IVF would have been perfect for the low sperm count, because that's what they said. Chance had was a low sperm count. Exactly. They could have done in vitro. I mean, it could have still been his sperm. He was not spermless. And so then, but Chance left. The Chance got the news. Feelings were hurt. Abby had just got her news. Her feelings are hurt. Chance decides he gets this assignment, so I'm a book. You know what? But Abby, guess what? You know what? You want a baby? Let's have a baby, but let's just get a sperm donor, because I'm in his mind, I'm not sticking around long enough to wait for my sperm count to get right, because he was planning on going undercover, and he did go undercover. And then so she says, so don't hold out for the nanotechnology in Switzerland for Nate's fingers. I know they're going to continue to say Nate can't operate. Get out of here with that, please. And then she says, do you think anybody on the soap has their own biological child? And then I thought about it. Who has their own biological child? Katie is Victoria's biological child. Chloe, both of her daughters were her own biological children. Who else that has children? Okay, Chelsea. Connor and Johnny are her biological children, even though Johnny is, Billy and Victoria have him. I think for now, because there really aren't any children on The Young and the Restless for me to really talk about. So that's about it. I think the question is not more for biological children. The question is really, how many women in any soap opera ever really have their babies in a hospital? You notice that? They're always somewhere else. They're always in Phyllis, Summer, and what's her? Oh, Daniel. Phyllis had her own, but they're either born in elevators, side of roads, in the house, in a car, in a barn. Babies are rarely born in a hospital on a soap opera, rarely, which is so interesting. More women on soap operas have the lack of anesthesia with their childbirths. They have more of the naturalist childbirths on the planet on a soap opera. Oh my goodness. So, and the most unlikely people end up delivering these babies. So, anyway, that is Comment Corner. That is the daily recap for The Young and the Restless. I will be back tomorrow, Thursday, September 8th, for The Young and the Restless.